Hello beautiful people, it's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video, and it's about the Tia Mowry sisters, and or it's about Tia Mowry and her sister. So yeah, we're going to be checking this together. Let's check it out.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. The actress Tia Mowry is doing her own reality show on WeTV called My Next Act. And in the teaser for her reality show, she revealed some interesting information. She opened up about her divorce from her ex-husband Corey Hardrick and talked about how lonely she is, which I found to be pretty interesting because Tia said that she divorced her husband because she wanted to find her happiness again, and all her life she was never really by herself. I mean, when she was younger, she was always by her sister Tamera's side, and when she got a bit older and started dating, she quickly settled down with Corey. They were together for over 20 years and they were married for 14 years. So never in her adult life did she really have time to be by herself and learn what she wanted and kind of find her happiness, because Tia was not in the happiest place in her marriage. So she left Corey to find her happiness and to find herself.
But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived, your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know that it was time?
That's a really good question.
To take that route?
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness.
And this is the thing. This is what Hollywood celebrities do, or just celebrities, TV shows or TV stars do, because they normalize some certain things. You have a relationship, you're in a marriage, or rather stay single, rather out of the relationship, out of the marriage, to find yourself, to find something out there, like make it make sense. And they normalize this, and regular people will look at it and say, oh, if this person could leave their marriage because they want to find happiness, where are you going to find happiness outside?
I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley, and both of them at the same time. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really, really matters here, which is, at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness.
Rather, or being selfish or selfishness to play.
Now, when I hear Tia explain her reason for leaving her marriage, I don't think she's wrong per se. Like, I understand that it's never a good idea to stay in a relationship or a situation where you're not happy, because that could definitely weigh on your mental health and your emotional health. It could just weigh on you overall. So I understand why she left. However, I don't think she considered the gravity of the decision and the aftermath. I don't think she weighed out the consequences and how it would affect her children and how it would affect herself. It's been pretty hard. I mean, just by looking at her trailer, you could see that she's going through it. You could see that it's not easy for her to date again.
But the one thing that I don't have is love.
It's not easy for her to see her children not live in a two-parent household anymore.
I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household.
But I mean, is it not what the celebrities promote as well? Because I mean, to them, they rather promote single parenthood, divorced parents, divorce whatever, than promote nuclear family, husband and wife together in a household with kids. But rather, they promote otherwise. They flip it and promote something in different light. She's going outside to look for love when you're supposed to search for love inside. Love yourself from the inside. Yes, we understand maybe she must be dealing with something, but I mean, there are sometimes or some things you can't possibly deal with alone. We get people losing people or whatever and be like, okay, at that moment they be like, life is too short. They need to do things on their own without depending on other people. Like, so many things might also result with that, but that is when you need somebody to lean on the most, not alone. But I mean, she rather choose being alone than being together or being with a family. and that is not selfish, because obviously Hollywood try to promote peace, self-love, happiness alone, but than being with family.
And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
Also, after Tia got a divorce, it hasn't been easy for her to be alone. She revealed that she's not even close to her sister Tamera anymore.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now. I don't know, I just don't want to be alone.
Now, I thought this revelation about Tia not being close to Tamera anymore was interesting, but
wait, she just don't want to be alone. But I thought that was the essence for her to be alone, leaving her husband to be alone to find happiness. But she just don't want to be alone. Really? Okay.
not surprising to me. Tia and Tamera live completely different lives. Tia lives in Southern California. She's in Hollywood. She's acting. Whereas Tamera lives in Northern California. She lives in Napa Valley. And she spends most of her time with her husband and her children. Now, every once in a while, she might come out and do a Hallmark movie, but most of the time she's just with her family and helping her husband run his family winery. So they live in completely different places. And not to mention, they are completely different people. I don't know if you've watched the Tia and Tamera reality show and seen the dynamics of their relationship, but a lot of times they're not really on one accord. Not when it comes to business, not when it comes to parenting, not when it comes to relationships, not when it comes to fundamental things like their beliefs. Tia is more liberal and free, and Tamera is more conservative and traditional. Some might say that she shares the same perspective as her husband, Adam. And I think maybe Tia is not really close with Tamera's husband either, which is another topic for another video, but they have fundamental differences. And when you have differences like that, there will be some distance.
We're very different.
Very different, huh?
Yeah.
How so?
My sister's very traditional. I consider myself almost like the black sheep of the family. Like I push the envelope. I feel like I'm very different, or we're very different in that way, even with our parenting styles. Like she's very traditional. I'm not saying she's narrow-minded at all. I'm just saying I have a very broad perspective on certain things, and she's very comfortable with familiarity. I'm the one that's taking the leap, should I say.
Okay.
So I feel like that's like the biggest difference that we have with us. I think religion. I am really into learning about other cultures and learning about different religions. I think she's very comfortable and content with where she is, where I'm like, I'm exploring, I'm like, this may work for the family, but this is not necessarily working for me. Yeah, I'm like hiding my crystals from my family.
Tia is hilarious. She's hilarious, but she and Tamera do have a lot of real differences. And like I said, it can create some distance. Not only that, they have differences when it comes to their communication style. In fact, on their reality show, there was this episode where Tamera was getting married and she wanted Tia to be her bridesmaid, but Tia was pregnant and preoccupied with other things. So Tamera made her best friend Andrea her bridesmaid instead. And Tia felt a way about that. She also felt a way that she didn't have a lot of moments with her sister at her wedding. But Tamera was like, you were nowhere to be found. What are you talking about? But Tia could only think about herself and how it made her feel instead of looking at the big picture. And so they had a big argument about that because they weren't able to articulate their feelings in a way that they both could understand.
So obviously, one person loves the spotlight, being selfish, and wants everything to be always about her, while the other one is always trying to do things for the both of them. So you see where all of this is coming from, or for both parties. And I also want to say that sometimes fans can also be a contributing factor to causing some of the rift between both. because some fans would rather prefer one over the other, because I mean, one is always in their faces, always giving them exactly what they want, fun of the entertainment and all of that, and one is reserved, one is not always showing to their faces, and they'll be like, oh, they don't, this is not what they want to see, this is giving them the exact entertainment they signed up for and all of that. So I think sometimes fan might also be a contributing factor, because you can't even actually force somebody to be something they are not. And obviously Tamera is obviously like, okay, she's not there yet, and she's not going to be forced or pushed into the kind of lifestyle or pushed into doing something that she's not comfortable with, while the other one is Tia is does not care. She's ready to explore, she's ready to go out there and all of that, because she loves the fun of it. So sometimes fans can also contribute to it. Or what do you think?
During your wedding, I felt left out. Honestly, Tia, throughout the entire wedding process, you were nowhere to be found. I don't see her for most of my wedding weekend, and now she's telling me I did something wrong. Are you kidding me, Tia? Honestly, I know you as being selfish all the time, so that's not how I know you as being selfish.
Also, there was another situation regarding their business. They were supposed to come together and do a website, and Tia was concerned that Tamera wouldn't prioritize it because she was living in Napa, but Tamera assured her that she was willing to dedicate herself to this project. Now, what was kind of messed up is Tia booked an acting job behind Tamera's back without telling her, so she kind of ditched the whole website project, and Tamera was left behind trying to clean up this failed venture. And this happened a lot. Like anytime they were supposed to come together and do something, somebody was always busy, and more times it was really Tia who was always busy, because Tia is a workaholic. She has to work and book jobs, because in her mind, if she passes on a job, she doesn't know when she's going to get another job like that. So she has to prioritize her own career, because at the end of the day, she needs to make money to take care of her children. Okay, so I don't blame Tia for being busy and taking on other acting gigs, but I know it would be hard for Tamera, because Tia would make commitments with her and then ditch them to do her own thing. And so this is why they don't do a lot of things together now, because they're just on two different pages.
Yeah.
Anyway, my agent just said that a network was really interested in doing a show with both of us.
I heard about that too, and I was working on my end to make it happen, because I was already talking to this woman.
So how come we didn't have the meeting?
Because we were waiting on you. You were busy.
How come you didn't pick up the phone and talk to me about this then? Like, if you're having an issue, or if you want, to make a point, just call me.
The reality is, and this is what a lot of people don't know about my sister and I, but everything that my sister and I have done, it's never been easy. We always find that we have to work extra hard. We don't know why.
There's always some sort of challenge.
So when you look at the dynamics of Tia and Tamera's relationship, it's always something. They have serious differences, and because of that, they're not going to always get along. They're not going to always talk to each other and see each other, because they're just living their own lives. And when they do have a situation where they have to talk things out, it doesn't always turn out well. So I could imagine that right now it's a bit harder for them to communicate, because Tia is very vulnerable. She just got out of her marriage. So anything could probably trigger her. Any comment that she doesn't see as supportive can probably set her off. And Tamera wants no parts of that. And I think this is why she actually stepped back and gave Tia her space. This might be the reason why they're not close.
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. She didn't. So I take that as
shocked.
No.
You're like, then now we're good.
No, she's like, this is my story, and I can only respect that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can I ask, are you and Adam trying to set her up on any dates or anything? Are you guys playing Cupid at all?
See, this is the thing. Tia is living her life right now, and Tia is doing Tia. I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that. So I think she is doing her.
So that's what Tamera had to say about it. Tia didn't ask her to be a part of her reality show, and she said that she's given Tia her space. I do hope in the future they're able to come together and resolve whatever issues or misunderstanding they might have, because at the end of the day, they are sisters. They're different, but they're still sisters and they love each other.
Exactly my thoughts. They are sisters, and regardless their family. So for me, I would say let them air this out regardless. But I also think that this may be because one person loves the spotlight more, so she doesn't care, and she just wants to do everything to stay or do focus on her career to remain on the spotlight, because obviously they are both different. They have different personalities, which is very common or not surprising at all. They have different they are in different phases in their life. So I mean, they're not always meant to be attached to the hip or follow each other around and all of that. They're now adults with different priorities as well. So they are also on different paths. I don't think people should also push them too hard. If they are ready to come back together, then let them be. If they're not, then so be it. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment down below. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love to share that. You can share the useful information I think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.